Hello everyone, welcome. My name is Phyllis McKenna, also known as Grey Wolf Woman. I'm here today to provide a teaching on crystals. First off, I'd like to thank Andoplava and Task for allowing me this opportunity to come to you guys live with the emergency COVID relief fund for Indigenous knowledge keepers, as well as artists and elders who have lost some income due to the COVID-19. So I wanted to give a special thank you to Task and Andoplava. I hope I pronounced those right. So we're going to get right into it. I always like to start off any teachings that I do or whatnot with a land acknowledgement. Although I am Anishinaabe and don't really need to do a land acknowledgement because I know where I'm from, I think it's super important that we always acknowledge the territories that we're sitting on. So currently I'm situated on the Dish with One Spoon territory. This territory is also known as Toronto. And the Dish with One Spoon represents how we must all be caretakers of the land. And the significance of the one spoon is to remind folks to only take what we need, and ensuring that we put the spoon back for others to be able to eat from it as well, and sharing the resources across the land. So I'm really excited to bring to you folks today something that I've been really studying for about a year now, but even before that I've always been attracted to, and that's crystals and stones. I know these teachings are very hard to get. I've yet to find an Indigenous knowledge keeper or elder that's willing to share these teachings with me, but I'm sure along the way they will come. But I have been blessed to be able to take a couple of courses, specifically with a person named Joey Wargachuk. He's an amazing teacher, always helpful, and has also become a friend while teaching these. Also learned from a scientist online. Her name is Teresa Bullard. And then there's also another person, Luke Bergamot. He had written a book. There's only one book that I could actually find that had Native American teachings when it comes to stones and crystals. So yeah, so we'll get right into it. First off, whenever we are working with any type of crystals or spiritual things, I always like to do a little smudge. But hold on, I just have to get a match. But because I'm working with crystals today, and sage is a clearing, it completely clears the crystal. So anything that you've programmed or intentions that you have set with crystals, if you sage them, it'll completely clear them. So I don't want to do that today. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to smudge with cedar, which will just more or less cleanse them and not clear them. So I'm just lighting a cedar stick right now. I'm just going to cleanse the space, cleanse myself. It's going to be super quick because this isn't really about the smudging ceremony. It's more about crystals. So crystals have been around for millions of years, billions of years probably, even before humans were on the planet. The oldest crystal that I have is actually a fossil. I don't know exactly what type of crystal. It looks like a labradorite, but there's actually a fossil in it. And this one here is estimated to be between, I think, a million and something years old. But there's a vertebrae that's in there that that makes it them able to date how old this crystal is. My most favorite and cherished crystal is actually not a crystal. It's a rock. It was given to me by one of my teachers, Elder Annie St. George Smith, and it's actually a Thunderbird egg. And what a Thunderbird egg is, just a rock that is a perfect formation of a circle. So this is actually my favorite crystal or rock that I've ever received. So yeah, so the most common crystal that we find folks know is the clear quartz crystals, and they are pretty much they cleanse the energy space as well as amplify any crystals that are in their vicinity. They're especially useful when you do crystal grids, or if you have a certain stone that you're wearing and you want to amplify the meaning to it. They're a good crystal to use. Yeah, so I know that there's many crystals, thousands of them. It's impossible for me to go through all of them in one teaching. Like I said to you, I've been studying this for at least a year, and I'm not even touched the surface of what crystal knowledge entails. So yeah, so one of the crystals that I know that is from our territory, or maybe I should back up a little bit. Most of our crystals can be actually that are found around the world can be found in the Canadian Shield. So I know when I work with these crystals, when I'm working with them intuitively, they tell me we had this knowledge. We utilized these stones for different things. So I know you can find all over around the Great Lakes, specifically Lake Superior, and it's a soft, huge stone, and it's good for balancing. This stone is also known in manifesting love, creativity, and emotional awareness within its owner. So that's one that I know that's definitely native to Ontario specifically. Another one that we used often was black obsidian, or is black obsidian. Now, black obsidian was used to make tools. Nowadays, it's used as a protection stone. It's also good for cutting energy cords. It's a very powerful crystal. So if you're wanting to cut ties, make sure that you absolutely want to cut ties, but because it will cut all the negativity, even the folks that you don't want in your life, they will cut them out. I mean, that you do want in your life, they will cut them out as well. Another one that has a story behind it for not specifically the Anishinaabe, but the Innu, is labradorite. And labradorite is a really transformative crystal. And if you can see in the crystal, you can actually see that there's a thunderbird in there. The lighting's probably not catching it well, but I can see the thunderbird anyways. maybe you can. But I'll tell you the story behind what the Innu believe Labradorite, how it was founded. So Labradorite was first found in 1770 near Nain, Labrador, Canada, by the Isles of Paul. This gem was named Labradorite because of the way that it had no two identical pieces, and it was highly converted into jewelry in England and France. So it was actually used as a trading piece when they found it. And according to Anishinaabe culture or Native American culture, it was, the legend had it that in ancient times, the Ora Barellas were entombed within the rocks of the shoreline of Labrador. And one day an Inuit warrior found it and struck the rocks with his spears, and the lights exploded into the sky, creating what we know today as the Northern Lights. He said, however, he wasn't able to free all of them, and this is why we are blessed to see such beauty in the stones with the lights of Labradorite. There's also another story to the Labradorite, and it claims that it's a mighty being, that a mighty being would stroke the rocks in order to travel the sky. And in Norse mythology, it states that northern lights were created by gods and were meant to be freed to be a bridge to the heavens. So they say that it helps with intuition, and if you believe in aliens or star beings, Labradorite has a connection to them, as well as evolved beings, and I'll get into those later on throughout this talk about crystals. You can wear the stone. So there's many different shapes and sizes. I have a rather large Labradorite. I absolutely love that crystal. I love all crystals. Let's see, what else can I show you. Another one that I like is sodalite. And sodalite is good for the throat chakra. It helps with communication, and it aids you into forming your thoughts like in a better way. What else can I tell you about? Oh, also with the obsidian, there's kind of like a taboo. A lot of folks call black obsidian Apache tears. This is, and some folks think it's okay to call it Apache tears. Other folks think it's politically incorrect. But there is a difference between regular obsidian and black obsidian, or Apache tears and black obsidian, and it's just the way that it's made. And the Apache tears, the story behind that is about during the times of colonization, when folks were losing their families and communities. They say that the sorrow of the women, the tears of the women, had turned into Apache tears during times of grievings. And so the Apache tears specifically are to help you release grief, and also remove blockages. And they help with deep healing. They can also help relieve stress, and bring opportunities for positive change into your life, so that you can formulate a plan of action. what else can I tell you about? They also are good for protecting against psychic attacks. And physically, they're also calming for muscle spasms or detoxification of the body. And they help absorb vitamins. They can also enhance the immune system and fortify the body. Now I'm going to talk a little bit about some scientific facts that I know about crystals. Please don't mind, I did write stuff down because it's a lot of content to remember. Yeah, so from Teresa Bullard, they're on Galia, they have a series called the Mystery Teachings. And there she specifically talks about crystals. Now, she was initially a scientist who then further did her PhD on crystals. And she talks about crystals, and this is proven facts through science, that they're actually living beings. And the reason why they're living beings is three things that constitute a living being. Something that is living is that it grows, that it has a DNA structure, and that it holds memory. So if you think about it, like, even if you don't carry crystals or use crystals in the way that I do, simply using your cell phone, you're using a crystal. A lot of the chips and memories, the memory of cell phones are made of crystals. That's how powerful they are. We use them for healing. We use them for decoration. We wear them. I have some crystals on myself right now. In terms of the technology, they help keep time. Like I said, they're used in electronics. And if we think back to some continents that are no longer here, such as Atlantis, or even the pyramids, they used crystal knowledge, or not crystal knowledge, but crystals as energy, much like what I was saying for the technology. I can't really tell you what they used the crystal for with the knowledge back then, because I wasn't there. Obviously, well, maybe I was in a past life. And intimately, they're connected to the essence of life. Crystals are alive and grow. They have sacred geometrical principles, and they also relate to the tree of life. They have a ladder DNA structure in their patterns, and you will never find any two crystals that will be exactly the same, much like a human or a snowflake. And they say that the sacred tree of life is found in DNA in human and in crystals. So we're all intricately connected. The Mother Earth with the trees, and then the stones, the crystals, ourselves, and they actually connect us to the star world as well. The defects of the quartz structures are what make them unique and sometimes even more expensive. And they all have their own unique blueprints. So, another crystal that I want to talk about today is Moldavite. This is a tiny piece of Moldavite. Moldavite is a very, very powerful crystal. I wear one around my neck. It always only comes from one place, and that's Moldavia, or in the tracks. And the way it was formed was a meteorite hit planet Earth over 1 million years ago, and it made this porous glass. But they call this the stone of the aliens. It's supposed to be able to allow you to connect to other realms that are not within our solar galaxy. Another one that I recently got as a gift is Atlanthusite. Atlanthusite is a crystal that is a healing stone. It's connected to the heart chakra and as well as the third eye and the crown. But it helps you to release past traumas so that you can move forward with your intuition and whatnot. I have more writings that I wrote down to prepare for this because like I said, I'll get sidetracked, and I want to make sure that I'm giving you the most knowledge that I know of these crystals. So yeah, so for Atlanthusite, it gets things moving inside, whether it's old emotions, patterns, or gridlock, and encourages inspiration, motivation, and intuition. Another one that we have here is Tiger Eye. Tiger's Eye is a stone for protection and was traditionally carried as a talisman, and people that had ill wills or bad thoughts of people that were carrying them, it usually reflected those thoughts back to the person, or in turn, if somebody wished something for that person that carried a tiger eye, it would also again mirror those thoughts back. It's also an uplifting crystal that encourages feelings of self-worth, confidence in our own abilities, and people who wore tiger's eye back in the day were feared because they were believed to be able to know everything before it happened. This crystal is also another one that is used to help increase psychic abilities. The stone also brings protection, independence, cheerfulness, optimism, and clarity of thought. The tiger's eye crystal will also protect your wealth and attract money. It can promote a positive attitude, assist in accomplishing goals, and helps recognize one's own talents and abilities. So it's basically helps you to enhance your own personal power and release blocks, creativity, and bring good luck, prosperity, and success. So another one that's popular is amethyst, and I know that there's a story that the Mi'kmaq carry with amethyst. I'm not 100% sure on that one. I couldn't find anything online pertaining to the story of amethyst, but I do know that it's also, I'm just going to take a drink here for a second. I do know that it is mined up by Thunder Bay, and yeah, so it's a stone that's connected to the third eye chakra. It helps with intuition, psychic development, and there's another one that I wanted to, copper. Many people don't know, but copper is also considered a crystal as well, and it has many healing properties. Copper conducts heat. It is also used for arthritis, the treatment of arthritis. It can conduct away heat from inflammation. Many water carriers carry water in the copper pail or the cup, and there's a few reasons why we do this. When the water is stored in a copper vessel, it has a number of health benefits. Some recognized ones include it stimulates brain function, boosts bone strength, regulates the function of the thyroid gland, combats arthritis and joint pain, boosts skin health, regulates body fat, improves fertility, slows the process of aging, helps effectively heal wounds, improves cardiovascular health, and acts as an anti-carcinogenic. We only need small amounts of copper per day. So if we're constantly drinking from our copper cups or making gem water with copper, it can be harmful to our bodies. So just be mindful not to use your copper cup too much, or place copper gems and copper stones into your water too often. I usually you only need about 12 milligrams of copper a day, but I don't even do that. I usually have a cup of copper water on the new moon and on the full moon when I do full moon ceremonies. I also want to take this time to thank Task and Andoplava again for sponsoring this live feed for the COVID-19 relief live feed. So I just wanted to say that again. So we'll get back into some more crystals. Another crystal that I really like is Shungalite. Shungalite has become a very popular crystal. This one is a sphere. I also have a larger piece, which is a pyramid, and the shapes of the crystals also have meanings as well, but I'm not going to get into all of that. I'm just going to tell you what Shungalite does. Shungalite clears EMF. For folks that don't know what EMF is, it's the radiation that is given off of our cell phones or our Wi-Fi's and whatnot, and it clears water. Like you can put it in a water and it'll naturally not distill but purify the water, which at the end of this video I'm going to show you how to make gem water, and possibly do a crystal grid if we have time. The benefits of crystals are, I can't tell you how much they have changed my life. I have fibromyalgia, and I had recently learned that ruby is a good crystal for fibromyalgia. It helps with nerve pain, and as well as another one is sunstone. I have a piece of sunstone here somewhere. And sunstone is good for physical pain. This is another one that is found very commonly in Canada or Turtle Island. Another one that I really like, that I know most definitely comes from, this one came from somewhere in Manitoba, but it's blue kyanite. And blue kyanite is good for speaking your truth, but not only speaking your truth, being able to communicate through writing. So I have a rather large piece. I am an author, a co-author as well. So yeah, I'm really attached to that piece. Yeah, it gets kind of, we're really not supposed to keep our crystals all bunched together like this, so I can really feel the energies. Typically the way we keep our crystals are like in alignment with our chakra. We connect them by the colors of our chakras, are where you know, those crystals should be kept together. But it's kind of like a rule of thumb. Anything below the heart chakra can be kept together, and anything above the heart chakra can be kept together. And then I find the heart one, I keep my greens with my upper and my pinks with my lower. But use your own intuition and your own you know, your own teachings when deciding how you want to store those heart crystals. It's very important that when like I just finished a course on crystal healing. So as a very soon to be crystal practitioner, it's very important that we cleanse our stones and crystals. We take care of them like we would our plants, our children, our pets. You know, we want to give them positive energy. And if we're working on a client that may have some traumas or whatnot, that we regularly cleanse our stones. And an excellent, safe way to do that is with a piece of selenite. Also, candlelight is another good way. There's also salt and there's also water, but it's not complicated. You just got to know which stones are able to be put in water and which stones are not, as well as which stones are able to be placed in salt and which ones are not. Kind of like a rule of thumb that I've learned is anything with an "ite" at the end is considered a salt. So they break down easier in water. So yeah, I think now, because we're getting towards the end of the feed, we got about 15 minutes left. I'm going to show you how to make some gem water. So I'm just going to clear a little bit of space. I'm just going to make a simple clear quartz water. Yeah. So what we do when we make, I'm going to kind of clear my space a little bit and bring it down so you can see. Hopefully you can see. I got a lot of crystals going on here. It's actually making me flabbergasted. I haven't used that word in a while. While. And like I said, it's because I have all these crystals sitting here, and usually we shouldn't work with so many crystals at one time, just because of the confusion that it can cause. Not in a negative way. It's just, you know, when you're energetically sensitive, it can affect you. So you take usually something that is glass. You don't want to put your crystals in anything plastic, or just use glass. So some like a quartz, clear quartz, you can usually put in water on its own. I typically just do this as a rule of thumb because some, like I said, crystals are toxic. Malachite's toxic. Bumblebee jasper's toxic, plus a few other ones. So what I do is I actually put my crystals into a jar, and then I put my jar in the water, and then that's how we'll make our gem water. So I usually use distilled water just for making gem water, just so that you get the the purity of it. So you fill up the water jug with this. If you are going to put your gems or your crystals into the water, you would first sterilize them. But if you're not going to put them into the water, you can just place them, like I said, into a crystal, a jar. So I'm just gonna put a few in. For me, I want to set some intentions to ask Archangel Gabriel and Archangel Michael to assist me in my studies going forward. So I have a Metatron shaped crystal that I'm going to put in there, and then just an angel crystal that I'm going to put in there. And then all you have to do is drop the jar into the water, and you leave that there. I usually do it for about overnight, and then by morning I'll have gem water. So that's what it looks like, and in up to 24 hours I'll have gem water, and then I can drink it. It actually has a different taste than regular water. What else can I say about the gem water? Oh, also, if you're going to make gem water is only good for 24 hours. It's not like moon water where you can use it throughout the month. It'll start to get maybe kind of like not cloudy, but like a milky kind of taste. It's hard to explain. So if you do make gem water, please use it within 24 hours. So, and last but definitely not least, I'm going to show you how to make a crystal grid. We're going to do a fairy grid, a very simple one, and we're going to use sacred geometry. This is an angelic one that I got from a place that I always go to get my crystals. And let me see. So we're going to use some tree agate, and that's to connect to the natural world. And I'm doing a fairy grid. I think I had mentioned that. We're almost out of time, so I'm going to thank Andoblava and Task once again for allowing me the opportunity to do this COVID live watch party on crystals. I'm going to use garnet as well, and some peacock ore, and you're going to need a generator crystal. Now, a generator crystal is usually one that's a point. I'm going to use rose quartz, and you work from the center, and typically you want to stick with 3 or 4 different types of crystals. I think I'll use 1, 2, 3, 4, not including the generator crystal. So I'm going to use these aura points. When you're setting intentions for yourself, you're going to place the points in towards the generator crystal, as well as like with the tree agate or any of your tumblers. If they have a part that's a little bit more pointy than the rest, you're going to point them in towards. You start from the inside and then you work your way on the outside. So on the outside, I'm going to be placing some garnet. When you're putting the grids together, when you're putting them together, I like to do it in a clockwise motion. And then when you're done with them, you would take them apart in a counterclockwise motion. And then peacock ore I'm going to use, and then I'll explain to you what each of them mean. And I do have a fairy stone. This is what they call a fairy stone or a hag stone. It's just one that helps to access the fairy realms. So I'll just leave it off to the side. The blue aura quartz is for the iridescent stone that attracts the fairies. The peacock ore is for fun and play, and the tree agate is to connect to nature and the wisdom of the trees. Now, something that is very important when you're doing crystal grids is to connect the crystals. So you can either take a wand. I have a selenite wand, but you can also use your number one wand, your finger. So you start from the center, and then you work your way around, and you setting your intentions. You can also write down what you want to ask of the fairies and put it underneath the generator crystal. Just making sure that you connect all the crystals, and then send it to Creator. And don't forget to always be thankful. And then you can leave this out. There's certain areas in the house that you can put these different grids. There's grids for relationships, for manifesting money, or just all kinds. Like I said, this is a fairy one. You can do angelic grids. Yeah, so there's your grid. I don't know if you can see it. But yeah, that's the grid that I had made, and I can leave that up. Sorry, I went to go and move the camera up, and I must have stopped it there for a second, or I don't know. I couldn't see you folks, but yeah. So that is the crystals. I wanted to talk a lot more. One of my favorite crystals is citrine. Actually, it's the happiness crystal. This is a natural citrine, and there's a big talk about whether this type of citrine is real or not. I believe it's real. They consider this some gem, like I don't know how to call them. But they'll say that it's baked amethyst. It's just, it's not just, it's amethyst that's been heat treated. In a quicker form, it's been baked rather than naturally. But most folks wouldn't, unless they knew what a natural citrine looked like, probably wouldn't buy it because it's less attractive than the regular citrine. And I also like that one because it's also the stone for my birth, for my zodiac sign. Yeah, so then stones can go along with your zodiac signs. There's so many different things that you can, use with stones. So many different ones that may be attracting you. So I hope that by me sharing some of my knowledge of crystals, that it entices you to, journey down that road and learn some of this stuff for yourself. And if folks have any questions for me, I can answer them. I also wear black onyx. I have hematite on. Angelite. This connects me to the angelic realm. Leopardite for psychic. I also wear howlite, so I don't get too up there in the astral world and whatnot, because I'm very sensitive. So I like to keep myself grounded. So yeah, pirate. I have a pendulum here, and this one here specifically I use for testing stones energy, as well as if I'm going to be working with somebody, I can also test their chakras to see which ones need to be aligned and whatnot. So I hope you enjoyed this this segment on crystals. I wish I had more time to tell you folks about the many crystals that I have sitting in front of me. Once again, thank you, Task and Endoblava. I'm hoping I say that right. For allowing me to provide you with this crystal knowledge. Please reach out to me via Facebook at any time. I'm always willing to help folks out on their crystal journey. If I can't, then I will definitely direct you to someone who can. Yes, Bama P, Chimigwech, Ona, yeah, so that's the video. Thanks, folks.